And we try to, carry things not just as business as usual, but let us make the best out of whatever we're been given. But to see that, and to say these things might sound light. During the pandemic, each of us remember we were in, panic mode. And I want us to revisit, to really see the impact of what our NSOs are doing, to revisit what the impact of this pandemic and, the lockdown, the death rates, everything had done to scouting worldwide, and, see it from that angle to appreciate it more.
So if I can start in pre-pandemic times, we, as a Scout movement, we had been growing with about 5 million new members per year in the 5 years before the pandemic. So we were on a very good path when it comes to attracting more young. Okay, back again. But then the pandemic hit and disrupted our growth and changed a lot of lives. We saw that this had a huge impact on a lot of NSOs, and we all had to find new ways of delivering scouting and staying connected. We can see from the numbers that many NSOs lost members in the first year of the pandemic. But we also see lots of examples of creativity and innovation and finding ways of delivering scouting from home or offering scouting from home or involving communities, serving communities. And we have examples of NSOs who managed to grow during that period.
Yes, and I think that's a great segue, because one of the examples we have as best practices is the Scout Association of Mauritius. And MSA used a very unique tactic or strategy to continue and advance with their growth. And for that, I'm going to ask Pascal, please share with us that profound experience that you have.
All right. So in Mauritius, all physical Scout activities, gatherings, and weekly meetings during the year 2020 and 2021 had been disrupted and suspended for health and safety reasons. Due to the pandemic, the Scouts were confined to their home. Following this, the Mauritius Scouts Association leadership team has decided to propose a Scouting at Home program to keep the movement active and engage in key programs and initiatives, and with specific activities for each section. With the help of WOSM, upon approval of our project, we receive funds to achieve the project and implement it through our NSO. As a post-COVID-19 response, where our objectives were to initiate and deliver scouting from home by providing contents and technical support to local groups found in our NSO and districts during these difficult times at that time, when young people need to be kept busy to still enjoy quality scouting and keep our members active even if we are not meeting physically.
Yeah. I think, this is really interesting. You said we got WOSM services, we got service support from WOSM. Can you elaborate on that? Like, what services did you request for, and how did this service really help you make that impact that you wanted?
Mainly we request the service of growth through the WOSM services, where our project have been appreciated by the World Scout Bureau of Africa Support Center, where they tell us to go through the post-COVID-19 recovery fund, where we receive the funds, and mainly we can achieve this for the young people. The topics developed in this Scouting at Home program were about good health and well-being, home help and services, solidarity, scouting skills, and promoting youth talent. The Scouts have also worked through this project to provide quality education to juvenile offenders by means of communication skills and entertainment.
Fantastic. Now, just in terms of outcome, can you tell us a number, for example? Has the number changed? What has really come out of it?
When saying just about the number, our NSO has sustained a growth of about more than 1,000 young people and leaders combined.
So can you tell me that growth is not school-based? It is community or home-based? Interesting.
It's about this type of program, Scouting at Home. It's like you say you have a wallet. You have a wallet. Your main notes, you keep it in your wallet. When we have different, when you kept your ID card, your bank card, it's just like just adding another space for young people to discover about scouting. And this is about Scouting at Home.
So basically, you boosted your programs, you boosted your service, what you provide, and took it out of school into their homes because kids were not at school. And I want to bring this question to you, and we can project the second slide up, which asks, what are the main types of scouting within your NSOs? If everybody could share, I think it would be good to have that perspective of what kind of scouting are we doing now. I know that pre-pandemic, as a region, Africa was very much on scouting in schools. And we had some level of community-based, home-based scouting. But now, a lot has changed. And I think Mauritius' example is that. We have community and school-based. Do you have anything different from this, from what you see on the screen?
So, school and community, mainly in Mauritius Scout Association, we are not school scouting. Mainly we are about community scouting and home scouting due to the pandemic.
Yeah. What other activities did you do during the lockdown? Mauritius had lockdown, right?
So in Mauritius we have lockdown, a disaster where we managed to provide support to the community by cleaning beaches and even support people of the community in terms of foods, as the main community was about the fishermen. We had not their work at that time due to the disaster that occurs in Mauritius, and in the south of Mauritius. And we provide quality scouting during the special duty organized. Like you will see on the presentation slides, one video on the front left, and many other scouting activities. What we did normally, so what we did is that we transform the regular program into a digital one by using new teams to be relevant to young people at that time during this pandemic, as we are not prepared for that. And as Scout, we must be prepared.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Pascal. And I really congratulate Mauritius Scout Association, every member, every scout, and every adult volunteer on this great success. This is best practice that we can adopt into everywhere we go in every NSO that we have. So it is great that you thrived during this hardship. Now I'm going to move into the next. I know, participants may have, or delegates may have questions, and for that I think our tech team is going to help us with a Padlet where you can drop in your questions and we can see them from there and follow up on that later. But like moving on, Kenya Scout Association is truly a lighthouse. That's the understatement of the year. They do fantastic work. I think Kenya's total population is about, what, 70 million?
No, 2.2 million.
No, not the scout, but the general population. 50 million. So out of 50 million Kenyans living, we have 2.2 million scouts. So that is way, way, way above, what you can bargain for. This is a great thing. Now I want to ask Daisy, what strategies did Kenya Scout use during the crisis, during this pandemic, to continue the growth, to continue that, highs of the work that we had?
Okay, thank you so much, Davis. To be honest, as an NSA, we suffered greatly during the pandemic. The government shut all the learning institutions. Children went home. Remember, Kenya is 80% school-based scouting. So we were not able to reach our scouts nor our scout leaders. So what happened is, thanks to a staff from the Africa Regional Office who mentioned about the Scout Re-Energizing Fund, so we were able to apply for support. We received the funds. Then that is when we realized that we needed to make an urgent move to begin community-based scouting. So we managed to approach the religious-based organizations. We went to the community libraries. We went to the children's homes. We visited the rehabilitation centers, and that is how we were able to raise the numbers. Apart from that, through the fund that we received, we were able to conduct a membership growth workshop, 2 of them, where we were able to train about 70 scout leaders. The 70 scout leaders are community-based. They were able to recruit 9,000 scouts into the movement, and that is why we really appreciate the community-based scouting. So we were hoping to achieve, through the community-based scouting, we were hoping to achieve the following. We were able to recruit young people so far, and everyone are being considered into the organization from all backgrounds, different backgrounds. So everybody's included. Then we were also able to recruit adults from the community. The adults are able to guide the young people who have also been recruited. Then we were able to conduct not really a recruitment drive, but whatever the scout leaders did is they tapped the areas that had not been tapped before. So through that, we were able to talk to our partners about what scouting is. So most of them came in to support us, where we engaged the community in various projects in different areas in the country. We were also able to strategically map and target growth. That has also helped boost our membership numbers at all levels.
Interesting. You said something that caught my attention, untapped market. As a young person, I'm asking you, what do you think is that one powerful message that KSA sent to this untapped market to attract the attention? And what are untapped markets in the Kenyan context?
By untapped market, I meant, like I mentioned before, scouting in Kenya is school-based.
Yeah.
So this time we were able to reach out to the community libraries and the children's homes. And because most of these young people, they usually not engage into interesting programs like the ones we offer in scouting. So when you talk about the different the different aspects of programs that we engage our young people in, they definitely get interested and want to join the movement. Most of them are idle at home and they don't know what to do, and they prefer being in scouting because that is where they come to meet new friends and enjoy the programs.
Yeah, I'm not great at math, but just throwing it, I think KSA has reached about 4% of the market share in the youth. Am I correct?
Yes.
So the question I and everybody in here would have would be, what is KSA's future plan for growth? How are you going to maintain or sustain that impressive growth that you have in the coming, say, 5 years, 10 years? What's in it?
Okay, currently we are working on a national strategic action plan that will enable us to realize the 4.4 million that we were to deliver by next year. Then in order to achieve that, we are planning to renew the youth program materials so that it is engaging and more attractive to the young people. We also want to establish, we're in the process of establishing an online membership portal where our members can be able to register comfortably from wherever they are. We are also trying to promote diversity and inclusion through the different partners that we're engaging. And currently, so far, so good. We appreciate what the partners are doing for us. In the process, we also plan to implement thanks and recognition practices to motivate the leaders in the association. That is with regards to retention. You know, as much as we are recruiting them, we are also coming up with ways of how do we retain them? How do we make them want to stay so that they don't leave immediately after joining?
So the retention is for the scout groups as well as adult leaders?
Yes.
Interesting. I think if I have to take two things out of this conversation from the two of you, one is don't do business as usual, try something new. And the second one is utilize WASM services. Have I captured it right? Yes. Let me come back to you then, Karen. The past 3 days, we've been hearing a lot about WASM services and how we can tap it, how we can access it. I want you to really give us your reflection, your honest opinion. How can it help at the grassroots level transform NSOs, groups, regions within countries and provinces? And how can we really make it as part of the everyday within us? But before you answer, I want to go back to the tech team. How many of us, and this has to be an honest answer from each of us, how many of us are really familiar with WASM services? Slide up, please. And I'm hoping to see 100% everybody is familiar with it or very familiar with it.
I know we stamped a lot of cards in the WASM services market yesterday, so I hope those who weren't familiar before got some more information yesterday.
All right. While we see that, I'm going to ask how many of us in here are teachers? If you work in a school, it doesn't matter if you teach in the classroom, you work in administration, university or formative school, grammar school. But how many of us are teachers? If you're a teacher and you're proud of it only, show me your hands. All right. So I'm going to use the teacher method here. Teachers, when we teach in the class, we love the top students. The guys on the very familiar, we love you guys. You make our life easy. But we're not in the classroom just for you. We are for the guys who are, I'm not familiar. So to this 15%, if we have to give them one message, I want you to give us that thing.
Only one message?
No. After you tell us the reflection.
I think my key message is you can get tailored support based on the needs you have in your NSO.
Yes, that is, I think, tailored message. I mean, tailored support is whatever you need, it is yours.
Yeah, but if I can get some, or give some more reflections about our WASM services. Yes. I mean, first of all, I'm really, really proud that we can offer support based on the needs you have in your organizations. And when we look at evaluations from the services we have delivered, we can see that almost all the NSOs would recommend other NSOs to also ask for this kind of support. So I think our WASM consultants, I know there are some in this room, I think they all deserve a huge round of applause. And as Pia mentioned in the presentation about WASM services yesterday, we can also see in the numbers that the services are making an impact. NSOs are growing who have received services in the past years. And of course, we cannot take credit for all of that. I think sustainable growth is a lot about a mindset and a willingness in the organization to explore what you talked about it, explore new things, yes. Be brave, try new things. And it's not only about focusing on the numbers and the growth. Of course, the growth service can help you plan, identify your your potential in terms of groups to reach out to. But I think when you look at the WUSM services, all service areas contribute to growth in different ways.
Yes.
We heard from Kenya, you almost said everything I wanted to say about how you can get support to grow. I mean, you're looking at your youth program, having an attractive youth program that meets the needs of the young people, having and retain your adult leaders and keep them motivated. That's key to growth. Yeah. But we also have the services around GSAT, for example, and good governance to strengthen the organization in itself, which is, of course, a key to sustainable growth.
Yes.
We have diversity and inclusion, you also mentioned that, to identify new groups you can reach out to, or how you as an organization can become more inclusive. And not to mention safe from harm. We have talked about safeguarding over the past days here. And if we turn that around, if we don't take that seriously, we will lose the trust of our young people, parents, communities, and that will lead to the opposite of growth.
And that is a serious risk, because if you don't have that wow factor, I think our founder 100+ years ago had that wow factor that sustained us to today. And we owe it to him to continue to another 100 or 200 years from today with that wow factor. So I think it's very important to stay relevant within our communities, to stay relevant with the world, to stay relevant with technology and everything that we see. There is something that you kind of sparked in my brain. You said, as a tailored support, everybody can access it. So it's about ownership. We can own it. We have a regional support center that is dedicated in, it's like your call center, calling you, supporting you every day. They are not there just to monitor how good you are, but it is helping you grow. And we have consultants as well. We have currently, I think, 53 consultants that are actively working.
Yeah, we have more than that. But
within
yes,
the region?
Yeah, in this region.
Okay, so now I was just quoting from a couple of days ago. So in that, and I want you to share with everyone, what is the role of these consultants, and how can they really link consultants through, or access consultants through these services, and what does it take for any NSO to come up with, an idea and utilize, whatever resources we have to achieve that dream?
So the first step is the idea in the NSO, to have an idea of something you might need help with or you want to develop. Next step is to ask for that help, and you can do that through our WUSM services platform. You're then allocated a WUSM consultant, and they're experts in their different areas, and they're trained to facilitate the process you might need help with. So the idea is that the consultant is really going to adapt the service and adjust what they're supporting with based on the needs in the organization.
Yes, and in the past 2 days
and
from our speakers...
I want to ask a question back to you.
Yes, sure.
Because you have worked or you've been active as a WUSM consultant. So
yes.
How do you adjust to the needs of the NSOs in that situation?
Mary tells me what to do. That's the truth.
That's
Mary
the same
says,
for me.
are you available on this day to do work on this? And I do. But no, the truth is, and that's what I was about to comment on. The fact is, the services are not just WUSM, the support center or the official structures that we have. You have support from your peers, NSO to NSO, chief commissioner to chief commissioner. Within the zonal structures, we have, the chief commissioners meeting, international commissioners meeting, where we really learn from each other. And another thing that we have used in the past is you can borrow ideas. If I see Kenya Scouting is doing excellent job in community service or Food for Life, you can borrow that. There is no copyright that you are infringing on or you're violating. You can definitely use each other's support system. If it works, utilize it. So I think, just to answer your question and kind of take it home, consultants are ready 24/7. You have your portal which tells you where you are and if you're available to give that support. And in each of the services, we have consultants ready. And the other thing is, these consultants are not working on yesterday's knowledge. Believe it or not, we have multiple trainings within a year on project management, not just scouting, project management, business management, consulting, reporting, all those things, in addition to everything we do in scouting. So we have the resources, we have everything that we need. Now, the passion and the main purpose that we're sitting here is about growth. Listening to this, how familiar are you with the WASM services? If you're familiar, just clap for yourselves and let's hear if people are really familiar with it. I see that. Second question is, if this makes sense, the WASM support systems that we have, the peer support system that we have, the consultants, the services, if all this works for you, by what % do you envision your NSO to grow in the next 3 to 5 years? Can we have the slide off of that? And it is there. By what % do you envision your NSO will grow in the next? Here is year. So let's go by year. If it doesn't make sense by year, go for 3 or 5 years. But give us that %. By 5%? Is that a consensus? Can I hear it? If it's a consensus, let's clap for ourselves, please. If you agree with yourself. All right, I see that 3 NSOs agree with themselves. The rest of us just wrote that. All right, but I am sure we can achieve this 5%. Coming back to you, what is one message you would give, Daisy, to all our audience here? If you want to grow, if you want to achieve that 5%, what should you do?
First, I believe that there is power in numbers, and I believe our strength will grow through the community. So the direction that we are taking is, apart from working with the schools, we intend to work with all the young people we can possibly find in the social places, including the rehabilitation centers and the refugee camps, because we believe every young people deserves a chance to enjoy our programs. So the other thing, I'll encourage my fellow NSOs and NSAs to place requests through the WASM services, because it is through the consultant that I was able to learn more about growth and support my NSO. Thank you.
Fantastic. And as a youth representative of KSA, what % do you think KSA will reach in the next year or 3? You're looking at the leadership.
Yes, because it is through their support we can achieve 80 to 100% and deliver.
Wow, that's fantastic. Pascal.
So for me, growth is never by mere chance. It is a result of our forces. As we scouting, our force is unity. So we must grow stronger together.
That's fantastic.
And as a percentage for my NSO, I want to double it for the next 3 years.
Doubled.
To input to the vision of 2023 to reach 100 million scouts.
That's fantastic. That's really fantastic. And growth is, achieved by working together, that unity that we have, and that's really powerful. Karen.
Yes.
What are your last advice, your last word?
Be brave.
Be brave. That's really, what do you mean, be brave, though?
There's such a growth potential in this region, and I think if we work together, as Pascal just said, we can tap into this potential. Yes. And I think we all need to be brave, and in the organizations we need to question what we're doing, how we can do more things, try new things, as Kenya just gave examples of. So yeah, yes. Be brave. And let us know what kind of support you need. We're here to help.
Absolutely. Wow. I think one thing I take from all this is there is this Amharic saying, the horse is right here, and the field is right here. It's up to you to ride that horse and get where you want to go. So I think each and every one of us can achieve our vision, can achieve our purpose, can achieve the growth that we envision. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much, my panelists. I really appreciate you, and I wish you all the best. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.